I love that music. I could listen to that all day. Epidemic sound instrumental music with no copyright, which is why I'm using it, because I can be rebroadcasting it as I'm doing now, and I don't have a copyright problem. So that's pretty good. There's a little difference in our layout here. We've got our FAU picture, a little more. That's something that I captured a few years ago for the business school. And they made a whole bunch of these posters and put them all over campus, and they had a couple left over. And he said, "Hey, Jimmy, you want one?" I said, "Sure." And it's a 4 foot by 2 foot. You know, if I made that myself, it would probably cost, several $100. Anyway, you see over here, we have a little, we got a little black cat that likes to hang around. Follows me around like a shadow. Hey, she's looking for a room to see if she could jump over here. And she knows I don't have a lot of room. See those eyes? Those are magic eyes. Yeah. She's a scaredy cat. Anyone else comes around here, she runs for cover. Okay, so we got a few interesting developments. We ordered a new, of course it'd be new, Model Y Tesla. Ordered it online, filled out all the information online. I mean, it's crazy what you can do online now. And then within about 18 hours, less than that, I did it at like 2 in the morning. I had this impulse, let's go order a Tesla. How crazy is that? Anyway, so that's what we did. And they say it'll be ready 4 to 8 weeks after your order date. Well, the order date was April 26th. So we're into, this is May 25th. So we're into the 4-week part. But I called the Tesla guys in our local store in Boca Raton. Dan's his name. Very nice fellow. I mean, he called us when we got approved. Like 6 p.m. on the 27th. Congratulations. Hey, you got Anyway, we're new to Tesla, and they're treating us like we own the joint. Anyway, so it's ordered. Black on black. There's a picture of it there, sort of. Yeah. It's on this piece of paper here because I'm writing a letter. One of the problems that we have is my parking place in our building. We live at Royal Palm Place, right above Chops, 8 stories above Chops. And it has a multi-level, we're on level 6, 7, 8. So it's an 8 or 9 level garage. We're on level 6. And I'm parked right between 2 other people. Right near the doors where the elevators are, which that's pretty nice. So we can get out of our car, and 30 steps later, we're at the secure door. You have to have a fob to open the door. And then, just walk around the corner. We're in the main elevators to get up to that level 6 of the garage. Dumps you off at level 3 in the building. Then you go around the elevator, and then you got to go up to 8. So on the one elevator, you got to push number 3 to get to our car. Anyway, there's no 220 volt electric anywhere near. So what I need is an outlet that looks very much like a dryer plug. Just happen to have one here. All right, see this big claw foot thing? There you go. See that with those prongs on it? So this is the plug, and then this is the other end that you, an adapter that you plug into the cable that comes with the car. And you don't want to lose that cable because it's a $500 cable. And it's 20 feet and has the plug to go in the Tesla and all that stuff. Anyway, so interestingly enough, the guy down the hall from me, literally 3 or 4 apartments south of me, is parked and has an outlet right next to his car. He paid to bring the outlet. He paid to bring the power onto a column that's right next to his car. And when he's not in the space, I'd like to park in there and charge my car where he's out somewhere else. I mean, it could be, the car could be in long-term storage in in an airport or something or other. So I'm basically, that's what this letter is. Is something. So in theory, if he's out and about and I'm not out and about, I pull in his spot, I plug in, charge my car, and then and your iPhone, by the way, will tell you how your charging is doing, so you don't have to sit in the car or near the car. So I can open up the app, the Tesla app. I can see my car in there, and I can see that it's charging, and it tells me, how much time it'll be before it's full, so to speak. So my story to Brian is, if I happen to be in your spot, just go up another level and park in my spot. No one will be there because we only got one car. And if I'm in your spot, then my spot will be empty. So just go park there. And send me a text, when you need your spot. I mean, you can stay there and I'll stay there until I hear from you. And when you send me a text, boom, I'll be out of that spot really fast. And then you can go park in it and charge up if you need to or whatever. So that's my story. Now, the other interesting thing I just realized is that the spot next to him to the east is one of these 9 to 5 spots for the commercial people that are on the second level. And there's like 15 or 20 of these spots that are marked 9 to 5. Reserved parking 9 to 5. So I'm going to go down to the office and say, hey, why don't you give me this spot? And we'll just put Jimmy's name on that spot. And I'll be parked right next to Brian. And all I can plug in anytime, that Brian's not plugged in. And we've solved the problem for, powering my car. And these 2 spots will essentially be Tesla spots. How about that? And, if Brian kicks up a fuss, maybe we put another outlet right below or above his outlet. So we got 2 outlets, and we can both be charging at the same time. And, the current draw is about what a dryer uses. This is a 50 amp, 240 volt. That's what these prongs are. There's only so much power that this can take, when it's connecting, in the plug. I mean, look at the size of this. That is one heavy-duty spike right there. I mean, Tesla really does it upright. This is one heavy, I mean, look, this is as big as on my finger. This is one heavy-duty adapter. Well, for $40, you can have one of your very own. All right. So that's my story on that. So since the car is about a month away, I'm spending my time. So I'm going to slip this underneath. Hey, my name is Jim Wilson. I reside in it. And I ordered a Model Y, black on black, with the 10K long-range battery. No, not the performance model. And my order date was April 26th, expected delivery, end of June. All right, well, we're going to be in June in a few days. And I spoke to Ann Waller, who's our property manager, informally, who says you and I may share that 1450 power outlet installed with no electric charge to you, Ryan, or JimmY. We've been in the building for 10 years. So in theory, I'm talking about how we switch spots and all this stuff. So that's my letter. I'm not going to put it under the door yet. I'm going to let Marilyn read it. If she likes it, then I'm going to pop that under his door and see what happens. If I don't get a response, let's say he says nothing. If he says nothing, then I'm going to go down to Ann Waller and say, hey, how about 265? He's in 266. 265 is one of these 9 to 5 spots. Why don't we just convert this to a reserved parking all day, all night, and assign it to JimmY? And then you can release the spot that I have on the 6th level, and that'd be it. It would be good. Then, the power we can share. I'll plug in when he's not plugged in. And, the car has a range of, let's do a little math. Shrink that clock down for a minute. There we go. Here's my calculator. See how nice it is. You look back at calculator right here on my phone. Oh, I could have done it on my, let's do it on my iPad. It's a lot more exciting. I'm going to have a big one here. Here it is. What's going on here? Oh, I got this stupid. There we go. All right. Instacart is on the way. Delivery about 3:40. That's in 20 minutes. All right. I told him to knock on the door. I didn't say I have to open it. Okay, so let's use the calculator on here. You can almost see it. In fact, if I do Command 2, there you go. Now you can see. How cool is that, huh? Kind of like pre-did that. So now you can see the calculator. So the battery has supposedly 315 mile range. Now they don't want you to use the top 5%. So I'm going to multiply this by 0.95. What does that give me? 299 miles. 300 miles round numbers. Okay, and they don't want you to go down to the bottom 5%. They don't want it all the way charged because then it gets too hot, and you don't want to run it out. I mean, do you, if you've got a gas car, do you run the tank down to vapor and then park it in your garage? You shouldn't do that. I don't like to do that. So I like to leave at least with the electric car, you can measure it in miles instead of trying to figure out, if you've got a cup of gas in your tank. Marilyn does that all the time, which, it drives me crazy. But all right, so we got 300 miles. We can't go above that because they don't want you to charge the battery to 100%. They don't want you to charge it past 95. No, they don't want you to discharge it below 5%. So that means I got to multiply this number times 0.95 again, because they don't want me to use the bottom 5% or the top 5%. Equals, there you go. So a 316 mile range battery is really 285 miles. I mean, it's like, you need a 400 mile range battery so you can get 350 miles. Anyway, so my 316 range battery, which is only for the EPA, it doesn't compare into, real miles, is 284.2875. Let's just say let's just round down, 280 miles, okay? So you fill up the battery, you really only got 280 miles you can use. All right, so that's not terrible. So if we, Marilyn's office is 5 miles from where we live. So I take her to the office back and forth. That's 10 miles. And then I pick her up at night. That's another 10 miles. So that's 20 miles a day just getting Marilyn back and forth. Or if I'm just too busy or too, she can Uber back. But, at worst, it's 25 miles a day just commuting to and from work. So we'll remember that 280 miles. I'll clear that out. So if we go, let's say 25 miles a day, let's just multiply that times 7. So that's 175 miles commuting back and forth, and 40 miles over the weekend. So that's 175 miles. So let's do that again. So 25 miles times 7 equals 175. Okay? And if we take that away from 280, we got 105 miles left in the battery. So, unless you got a big drive coming up, you really, because that's 4 more days. So in theory, you could go 11 days and not really have to have a charge. So once a week, you charge the car, and you just plug it in overnight. It's a dryer. Let's do that calculation. So we only have 280 miles that we're really going to use. Oops. So 280 miles. Divided by, when you plug that in, your battery charges at the rate of 35 miles per hour. So 35 miles worth of range goes in the battery every hour. So I'm going to divide that by 35. And so that's it. It's going to take me 8 hours exactly. 8.00. So, if no one's in the parking space, I go in there and I plug it in 8 hours, I got a full tank. If it was down to that 5% level, I plug it in 8 hours, it's going to go all the way it's going to go to 95%, because you can set how high you want the battery to charge. I'm going to use 95%. And then it will automatically trickle itself off. Even though it's plugged in, it won't be charging past 95%. So it's going to leave 5% of the battery on. And myself as a driver, we're not going to run the battery down to only 5% either. Let's just see how many miles that is. So 315 times 0.05, that's 15 miles. So the last 15 miles in range in the battery, you're not going to, in other words, when you're in the garage and you got 16 miles left in there, you're going to charge up. You don't want to go off. I don't want to take Marilyn to work with 15 miles of range there. Because that would be 10. I only have 5 miles left. I mean, some of these guys I see on the TV, they go right down to the 5 miles. No, we have a supercharger in Deerfield, which is about 2.5 miles away. It's connected like to a gas station, and they got 7 or 8 supercharger Tesla. It's right near the Home Depot on Atlantic Boulevard, which from here is less than 3 miles away. So I can plug in there, and instead of 35 miles per hour, it's going to give me like 135 miles per hour. It's going to be five times faster. So you just sit, they put you in a place that's got stuff going on. If you have an iPad, bring it with you. If you don't, Tesla has a lot of entertaining things that you can do on that big screen, or you can, turn on Netflix. Netflix is live, and watch a movie. Or you can, turn on the news, Fox News, my favorite, of course, and watch Fox News, while you're at the supercharger station. It's not a big deal. Marilyn had a little altercation with another car. Another car jammed in behind Marilyn and drove into Marilyn's Honda. Caused $11,000 worth of damage. So we were permitted to rent a car for up to a month under the faulted driver's insurance policy. So, and they pay it up to, $35 or $40 a day. And I paid everything over, and it was $50. So I paid $15 a day extra, so I could, because they actually had a Tesla car in the lot to be used as a day-to-day rental in enterprise leasing. This is pre-pandemic. It was right around my birthday, March of last year. A year ago, March. So 14 months ago. So I was driving around in a black Model S Tesla for exactly a week. And I turned it in and, got something different. So it cost me $15 a day. So 15 times, So it cost me $100 to try out a Tesla. See how I liked its driving. I mean, they're like rocket ships. I mean, they're so fast. If a guy pulls up next to you and he wants to drag race you, and you look over and you kind of laugh at him because, you trounce on that accelerator pedal and he's gone. You can't even find him in your rearview mirror. It's embarrassing. I did it twice in a week. I had 2 wise guys, at different times, pull over to my left or my right, like on Yamato, it stops at a light, and this wise guy pulls over on my right side, and he gives me this wink like, let's go when this thing turns green. So that thing turned green, and I was like a rocket ship to get to 55 miles an hour, and then I just stopped accelerating. He was gone. I looked around at my rearview mirror. I could barely find him. I mean, it's like, so these Teslas are notorious, really fast. And I don't go fast, but if you want to get off, off of, like if you're on the highway and you're stuck between this car or that car, and if you're in a regular kind of car, you say, I can't go to my left and get around this guy fast enough. But with this car, you see an opening, you can just rock it right right into the way to get around around some slow guy on the highway. Anyway, so that comes in handy. So you can avoid an accident. You can, and the cruise control, kind of the autopilot they call it. You push that button on, and you can adjust. How many car lengths you want to be. How far do you want to follow the car in front of you? And, so it won't get any closer than, 60 feet or 80 feet or whatever. You have a little thumb thing on the left side of the steering wheel. So you can adjust that. It's very nice. And you can set your speed to up to 5 or 10 miles over the speed limit. So let's just say it's 5. So if it's 65, you can set it to 70. Now, it'll only go as fast as the car in front of you, unless you go around that person. But if he's, most people, they cruise down the road. If the road's clear, it's over, over the speed limit. So I'll follow the car in front of me, but go no faster than 65, let's say. Anyway, so I did all that experimenting with the Model S, like Sam. And now I got a Model Y, which is about 6 inches. The one thing I noticed in the Model S, you got to bend over a bit. You're going to bang your head on the top of the car. And it's even more so than it is in my Honda Accord. So I kept banging my head. So it turns out that the Model Y, they fixed that. They have that up about 6 inches higher from the seat, than what you experienced in the Model S. And the whole car is 6 inches higher off the road because it's like a I think they call it an SUV crossover. That's what the car people call it. Tesla calls it Model Y. They don't like using these other adjectives. We'll leave that to the car guys. Anyway, so you'll never see. Well, they don't advertise. I mean, Tesla doesn't advertise. Anybody that wants a Tesla is just going to have to be motivated to go online and order the car, or go into. They have a showroom, for example, in the Boca Mall. You can go in there and reserve a time to go test drive the car. Any one of 2 or 3 cars they have like 5 or 6 cars that are available to drive. They have all the software and all the features, so you can experiment with all this. I don't know if they have a Model Y in there yet, but they probably should. I know they have the Model X, like Exit, and they have the Model S. And, the Model Y has been out for about a year, so they're all sold out. I mean, the production for Model Ys, for example, they're sold out for the next 12 weeks. So if you go online and order a Model Y in any configuration, pretty much, you're going to get that car in 11 weeks. That's the, it's like when you buy a new iPhone, you got to wait. The same thing, The Tesla cars are like iPhones with wheels, I mean, they're beautifully made. If you ever got up close and opened up things, in a Tesla, they're spectacularly made. the precision is so amazing. How they fit everything together. 95% of the plant is automated with robots that are tuned to the millimeter. So if this part is off a millimeter and that part's off a millimeter, that could be 2 millimeters. So, but they're down to a millimeter tolerance. So they have these huge robots, and they do their thing within 1 millimeter tolerance, which is, I think, in the General Motors, it's like a 1/4 inch. Anyway, so they do it, and the Tesla cars are pretty simple. They got a huge battery that's in the floorboard, and they have this battery capsule, which is a 1/4 inch titanium casing all the way around. 1/4 inch, a 1/4 inch of any kind of a metal. Now, titanium is a very strong, lightweight metal. It's light like aluminum, but stronger than steel. That's titanium. It's an element on our element chart. we went to chemistry. And there's plenty of it around. So they encase, they have a case. It's, in the Model Y, it's shaped, like this. This would be the shape of it. And it's, all the batteries are standing up like soldiers. In the case of a Model Y, there are about 6,000 batteries. They're about as big as my finger and about that tall. 2170. 21 millimeters in diameter and 70 millimeters long. So I happen to have a little ruler out here. So that's the new 2170. So that's 70 millimeters from between my two thumbnails. Can I lock that? There you go. Yep, so that's about right. Like from here to here is 70 millimeters. But it's 21 millimeters in diameter. So see, here's 10, 20. So it's the diameter of my thumb, but 70 millimeters long. That's the 2170 battery. They're using those now. So just think of 4,500 of those guys all standing up, and they're all connected in a specific way to produce about 450 volts that goes into the motor system, and the control systems work off that 450 volt battery. Each cell produces 7 volts, so you can divide that out to see, in series, how many of these things. Let's just do that. Oh, I'll get it right here. So I think let's just say 5,000. Okay, by 7.2 volts a piece. So you have to have about 600 cells all lined up in series. I mean, this is pretty simple math. So 5,000 divided by 600 cells. All right, so you got 8 rows of 600 batteries. That's how you'd produce, a 500 volt battery with cells that are 7 volts apiece. 7.12, I think it is. So it's really not that complicated. I mean, when they had the smaller cells, the Model S had like 7,300 cells. Well, they had these little guys. The 18360. So they're 18 millimeters in diameter and only 65 millimeters tall. So they've, now they got a much bigger battery. They've gone, which, I recommended a long time ago, but who listens to Jimmy? So now they have a battery that's about the size, if you get V8 and you get it in the 5.5 ounce can, so the can's about this big in diameter and it's about that tall, that's the size of the battery. They call it a 4680. So it's 46 millimeters in diameter and 80 millimeters tall. So they call it a 4680. And they have just settled on that design. And that's what they're going to put in the cars starting next year. They're putting in cars right now, test cars. But, as far as the buying public and mass production, the 4680s will be available in the Austin, Texas plant that's under construction and the Berlin plant, which is under development. And they'll be operational, about 9 months. I mean, it's amazing how fast they put these plants together. From the time the shovel goes in the ground, they have a plant that's operating in a year. Now, no one's ever heard of that in industrial. Anyway, so that's about. I've been talking there for about an hour, I think. So let's stop talking for now, and we'll tune in again another time. So look out for, see here, what's Jimmy think, Boca Raton, Florida. There we go. So now you can see that more clearly. Here's Jimmy. Hi there, everybody. So now we're going to turn our music up, and I'm going to turn my microphone down so you can listen to this epidemic sound. And we'll catch you next time. If you want to follow me, it's FAU4U. The letters FAU, the number 4, and the letter U at FAU4U. I was teaching at FAU for 20 years, so I got FAU everything. All right, see you next time. Everybody tells me that I've got to have at least a minute in the beginning and the end of each broadcast. All right, I've been on here for 39 minutes